Hello everybody and welcome to the class today, conversation class, and today we're going to talk about books and prepare you for conversations you may want to have with people around you on the topic of books. So first of all, someone may ask you the question, how often do you read? So you could say right down from I never read to I rarely read to I read sometimes or I frequently read or I'm always reading. So always reading is an example of an exaggeration. So you don't always read, but sometimes we exaggerate. It's really like telling a little untruth to emphasize that we read a lot or we do something a lot. So exaggeration. E-X-A-G-E-R-R-A-T-I-O-N. Exaggeration. Okay, that's an example of an exaggeration. The second question is, what kind of books do you like? So there are all sorts of different books, and it's kind of like the different types of films or movies that we spoke about before. The genre of movies or genre of books. What genre do you like? That's G-E-N-R-E. Let me write that down for you. G-E-N-R-E. Genre. It's a French word, so it's pronounced genre. And here you can see some examples. Do you like action movies where there's lots of physical action going on, a bit of violence, stunt work? Maybe there's a stunt man or woman who looks like the main actor or actress, but does all the tricky, dangerous jobs, so they don't have to take any risks. So you could have stunt man or stunt woman to do the dangerous work in a film, so the main actor or actress don't get injured. So maybe you like those kind of action books, or maybe you like sci-fi. So sci-fi is short for science fiction. Let's write that down so you know how to spell it. S-C-I-N, science fiction. So science fiction. In science fiction, they're often set in another world, or maybe the world of a future, like a dystopian future. Dystopian. D-Y, dystopian future. Dystopian future is where the world is a terrible place. And they imagine this world in the book. And that's a whole genre of science fiction as well. So maybe you like that. I don't know. What other kind of books? So the two principal type of books really are fiction and non-fiction. So fiction is a story. It's not true. And non-fiction is true. So the two main types are, let's put it up here, fiction or non-fiction. Which do you like? So comedy, there are comedy books as well that make you laugh. Examples of fiction type books are they're stories, so they're not real. And maybe you like them. But examples of non-fiction would be biographies or autobiographies, which are stories about people and people's lives. So examples of non-fiction would be a biography. It's a story of someone's life. And maybe a famous inventor or an actress or something like that. Or autobiography. So an autobiography is where they write about themselves. A biography is where someone else has written about them. Personally, I prefer autobiography because they're writing about their own life, whereas a biography can be that someone's just guessing about their motivations and why they did things. But this one is more closer to the truth because it's written by the person it's all about. Which do you like? Other examples of non-fiction books would be reference books. So a reference book refers to a book you can just pop in and out of when you need, and it's true life, real life stuff like a dictionary. or an atlas, but they're not really books that you like to read. They're reference books. You just pop in and out of them when you want to find an answer to something. So what kind of books do you like? Maybe history books? So who's your favorite author? So there are lots of famous authors. Let's have a look at a few of them. So this is J.K. Rowling. She wrote the famous Harry Potter series, which is a series of books about a wizarding world, and she has a great imagination. She creates this whole world of wizards, of which Harry Potter is one, and he goes to wizarding school. And there are a number of books in that series. It's just what we call a series of books. And it's designed for children, but also it's really good for adults to read. It's good English in there. So if you want to read it to your children, it will definitely help you improve your English. So she's a famous author, J.K. Rowling. She's actually a billionaire. She's made so much money from her books. Another famous one, historical one, would be this lady here, Agatha Christie. And she's written thrillers, murder mysteries, where you have to find out who committed the murder. And they're very clever stories. She created some famous characters like Poirot and Miss Marple. Maybe you've seen them on television. She was very prolific. Let's look at the word prolific. Put it here. Prolific, which means she produced a lot. She wrote a lot of books. Okay, those books are all about finding out who committed the murder. That's what she wrote about, Agatha Christie. But they're famous authors there. So I'm wondering, do you have another favorite author? And write a few reasons why you like them. So why do you like them? Maybe they write really clever stories. Maybe they're interesting stories. Maybe they write about something that's of interest to you, like traveling a country or something. Maybe they're very passionate and enthusiastic about their stories. Let's write down those words there. Passionate and enthusiastic. And that comes across in the books. Maybe you feel you learn a lot, and that's why you like that author. I'd love to know your reasons why you like that particular author. Okay, next, what is the name of the last book you read? So the last book I read was A Gentleman in Moscow. Let's see if we can get the cover of that. There is the picture of A Gentleman in Moscow. So it's a story about an aristocrat, let's write down that word. Aristocrat. Make that bigger. An aristocrat is a very rich person. Usually somebody that hasn't earned their money. They've inherited a lot of money. Inherited a lot of money. And they're very wealthy. So that's what the story is about. An aristocrat in Moscow, as it says in Russia, before the Russian Revolution. And he's a lovely character. He's witty, charming, clever, very knowledgeable, and that's why I like the book, because of the character in it. And there's a little bit of history in it as well about the Russian Revolution. But that's just my personal opinion. What was the name of the last book you read? And what was it about? Next, do you like sequels? So a sequel is where you have a number of books in the series, another book which furthers the story about the same characters, the same story. And do you like them? I think it's probably a good idea if someone's got a very good story which they can continue and they can extend it. And if lots of people enjoy it, why not have a sequel if there's more story to tell? If not much happens, then I wouldn't like it. Who's your favorite character? Well, I've already told you about that. The last book I read, I liked the character in that and why I liked them. What else could we say? Adjectives. We can describe personalities with different adjectives. So what could you use to describe your favorite character, whoever that may be? So you could say they were brave, clever, charming. Let's see, charming. Put up here. So charming, what does that mean? Charming means that they are nice, well-mannered, and polite. Maybe they're sympathetic, so they help people around them. How would you spell that? Sympathetic. That's how. Maybe they're honest. Do you like that about them? Maybe they're generous, not just with their money, but with how they deal with people. Are they generous? Say generous. G-E-N-O-U-S. Maybe their characters are sincere. Sincere means that they say what they mean. They're not, it's honest really. They say what they mean. They're very open, you might say. Or maybe they're funny. Maybe they're resourceful. So no matter what happens in their life, they are able to cope by using around them to manage. They're resourceful. Okay, so we've come to the end of those questions. So please write 3 paragraphs about books. You can write anything you like, but use these as cues to help you. So do answer those questions and please send back to me. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.